You guys, you made it. It's the last demo here. Thank you guys very much for sticking around. I'm Mike Mangino. I'm the Chief Technology Officer of HubTran. And unlike a lot of the people that are demoing here, I want to try to give you the lowest technology demo that you'll see all day. I'm not going to talk about the technologies involved here. We're not going to talk about machine learning, Bayesian inference, functional reactive programming. Instead, what I want to talk about is what value we can deliver to your business. So if you're a broker or 3PL, you probably have a back office full of people that are processing paperwork from the carriers. And they do a very critical job for your business. But it's also not something that adds to your top line revenue. It's simply an expense. At HubTran, what we want to do is to automate that back office processing for you to make your back office more efficient, up to 4 times more efficient. So let me give you a quick demo of how that works. First, what you'd want to see is you'd want to have your system integrated with HubTran. And the demo I'm going to show you is one of our demo accounts. This is going to look a lot better with your own data, your own TMS. We're integrated with MercuryGate, Revenova, Aljex, 3G TMS, who's here at the conference, McLeod, TMW Suite coming soon. So if you'd like, you can come see this demo again with your own data. Just look for one of us. Once you've integrated HubTran, it's easy, no cost setup on our side. You'll see that you can forward messages into the HubTran dashboard. To process an invoice in HubTran, it's as simple as clicking on an invoice, verifying that we've got the right documents. From here, you'll have all of the images you need. Our platform is going to run the rules, hit one more button, and now we've sent the invoice into your transportation management system along with your documents. That's it. You're done. Now, I know I went through that relatively quickly, so let's go through and see what all of the things are that HubTran's done for you automatically. First, we received an email from a carrier that had 10 pages of documents in it. The first 7 were associated with one invoice. Now we're going to deal with the last 3. We've converted the PDF attachment, one big PDF with 10 pages, into individual pages so that you can see them here. We've then done work to figure out who the carrier was that was assigned and sent in this invoice. We've identified the documents by taking care of our document typing. You can see a carrier invoice, a delivery receipt, and a bill of lading. And in fact, we do that with higher accuracy than the average human auditor. When we go back and ask humans to score how we did, we actually correct their corrections more often than they help us. The last couple things we've done are we've grouped the documents to say these documents go with this invoice, and we've matched up the data here in this assign load step to the data that comes from your transportation management system. So when I do something like hover over a load ID, you can see in the document it's highlighting in blue. That's showing us where you can find that information in your documents. So we're taking all of those steps that used to have to be done manually, and we're using the machine to do it for you, trying to save you time. The next step, and this is a big one, is this is where we come in and we run rules. And you help define these rules. So a lot of payables processes require your users, your payables clerks, to keep a ton of information in their head. They need to know that this customer has this rule, another customer has another rule, which is error-prone and difficult. With HubTran, you can encode that so that we get the same result time in and time out. In this case, we already see verification that we've done everything we need to do because we see no exceptions. All of our rules have passed. If something were wrong, say we had a wrong invoice amount, that's no problem. We'll give you an error message. And to fix it, you could do something as simple as just drag and drop a value from the document over there. That'll take care of the rules and move things along. Now, that's great. It's always nice that we can make it faster, but even that, it requires people to process. If you have carriers that you trust to provide PODs, that you know they always give you a valid POD. If you have customers that don't require a POD, you can turn on automatic processing. When you do that, as long as your rules are met, there are no exceptions on those invoices, we'll automatically flow things into this processed area where if you elect to, you can click in, take a look, verify that everything's right. If you don't feel you need to, no problem. Check all, approve them all, and there they go. We have customers that are doing this with 80 to 90% of the loads that come from their trusted customers require no manual review. The last thing I want to show you today is what happens when things go wrong. These processes are easy, and when I watch a manual processor do this work, it looks really good when everything goes well. But when there are problems, that's when the process tends to break down. So if we click in, we'll do everything the same way here. We'll verify we've got the right load. But when we get into the detail, we're going to see that there's a couple of issues. One, we need to verify check a signature to make sure that, yes, this is signed. It's a proof of delivery. But even then, we're getting a message that there's no lumper. And what's happened is we've encoded a rule for this customer that if there's a lumper line item, we need a document to verify that lumper receipt. In this case, when I take a look, I see that there isn't one, so it's no problem. I'll hit Save Exception and Send Now, and what that's going to do is to pre-prepare a message to our carrier. We'll be able to take a look at the documents that we want to send, Turns out in this case, we don't really need to send any. So we'll just hit send message. That goes off to the carrier. And then when they come in, excuse me seeing my actual email here, got some updates from the Cincinnati Triathlon Club. We'll get a message. We can just hit reply, attach in the lumper document that we need, and hit send. That's going to come back into the system, and I'll show you how we continue processing. But the really nice thing to keep track of here is that the email disappeared out of new, and it went over into waiting, meaning that we're waiting on a response. We're not going to ask you to keep track of these things. We have this great workflow so that you know what still needs to be worked, so that you can pay your customers, and more importantly, so that you can get paid by your customer. Now, this all is good. We've showed you how we can automate a little bit. We've showed you how we can make the process simpler, but you get some second-order benefits. With HubTran, because we've got a simple and intuitive web interface, it's much easier to hire people to work on the platform. Like I said earlier, they don't have to memorize all of those rules. We also include the management reporting that you can use to see who are your good processors, how many invoices are they doing per hour, how many hours during the day are they actually working in HubTran, so that you can have the insights as to who on your team needs additional training, who's doing a great job, and you can reward them accordingly. We can come back here now. We see that our messages move from waiting to replies. It's coming in here, unfortunately. Oh, there it goes. It went from while we got a live update while we were talking. It went from importing to processing. We can now process. We see the message. We'll come in and say, this is a lumper. We'll continue. And now you can see that all of those things have gone away. Oh, and look at that. It looks like I sent in the wrong document. Good enough. That'll work for our cases today. So I'm just going to hit save and approve, send this on. And that's all there is to it. We hope that you'll come by, see the same demo with your own data. It's a much better demo. And we'd love to show you how we can make your back office processing cheaper, faster, and easier. Thank you very much.